together Druid builds for leveling that there is, and it does work really darn good. Is the best in the game? I will let you decide. You can let me know down in the comments, but I will put a link to this build in the description as well. Now, first off, I recommend most everybody goes with Storm Strike on any of these Druid builds, so go ahead and go with it and come up to Fierce Storm Strike as well. Makes enemies vulnerable, get some damage reduction, also off of dealing that basic skill when you do have to. Now, Pulverize is what this is based around. You're going to want to get it maxed out really dang quickly and come over to Primal. Pulverize would be my recommendation. A few basic ones up over here: Wild Impulse, Heart of the Wild, Predatory Instinct, and Iron Fur. I would say go into, not necessarily right off the bat, but they're definitely, when you decide you want to start getting points into that, definitely go ahead and do that. Earth and Bulwark, coming up over to Preserving Earth and Bulwark. So you get Fortified, but really in the middle here, Unstoppable is one of the more important aspects of having this. It's a way to break out of all the constant perpetual CC you're going to be running into. So this is a great place to have that. And along with a little bit of safety from the Fortify and the rocks that surround you, things like that. Blood Howl will heal you, obviously, but coming down to innate Blood Howl, you're going to get more spirit when you use this, so you can heal yourself back up, get some more spirit to pulverize even more. Now, Poison Creeper, a great skill to use if you wanted to. Some of these other passives, maybe before you get up to this character is up to level 50, you could pump this up even higher, then respec some points out of it if you wanted to, or just leave them in, really, to deal a ton more poison damage. You don't have to. Right here, I got it with 1 just to get the poison effect, and then coming over here to increase the poison duration to get more damage, but it also immobilizes everything for 1 second. So top of that, we got some points into clarity here. So when you do run out of mana switching to human form, you're getting some spirit just for doing that. Coming down to some of these other skills here, we want Trample. It also makes you unstoppable when you charge forward, saving your life. Obviously, you got to come through Enhanced Trample to get to Savage Trample, giving you 40 spirit every time you use it. Another way that you're really getting spirit back, because you are really energy starved on pretty much every build when you start off, but Druid more so than any others, because as you know, it doesn't regenerate on its own. We end up coming over here to Stone Guard and capping that out and getting some 1-point wonders on that stuff. But also in Venom over here, we went ahead and capped out at some point, because you deal 30% additional critical strike damage to enemies that are poisoned. And the Poison Creeper you're hitting, you're going to be instantly poisoning giant groups. So that's also going to be great to get, obviously. Coming down to where the ultimates are, we're actually not using any really of these just yet. They don't really work out. Maybe later when you swap into a different build, you can pick an ultimate that you do want to use. Grizzly Rage, obviously, all the rage to use. See what I did there? Pun intended. We've got Resonance up here and Natural Disaster. We ended up capping out, and we went with a couple 1-point wonders on the other, and also capping out Heightened Senses over here. 12% damage reduction against elites upon shapeshifting. Great one right there. I decided to come down under these different passives down here. Earth Sign Strength, so gaining 20% additional life while you're in werebear form and for 3 seconds after. And while you're healthy, you do 30% increased damage. So you're getting a damage boost a lot of the time, and you're getting more life to stay alive. So I decided to go along with that one. Now, when you take a look at the aspects over here, it's going to make a little bit more sense why some of these things you actually have points into, such as things like here, your Earth skills deal 12% increased damage to vulnerable. Storm skills, we got other stuff here. Nature Magic deals 6% increased damage, triple the bonus if it's an Earth skill is next to a Storm cast. So keep an eye on why those, maybe you didn't fully understand when we're talking about using Pulverize. When you look at the aspects on the gear, very key, it's going to make a little more sense. When we are over at the gear, obviously you want to throw on the best things that you can to help you out. It's going to be a lot of rares early on, so I'm not going to tell you look for all this specific gear, but there's certain aspects that when you get high enough level to be able to imprint them on these rares, or maybe even lucky enough to find some of these, they're going to be real good. And I only got 4 of them here. You could get a lot more things to help you out, but I'm just going to talk about kind of the most crucial ones here that I would say. Up here, aspect of Earth Sign Horror, just slipping just off the screen there, but Pulverize is now an Earth skill, so this is incredibly important. With a Pulverize being an Earth skill, now those other things actually boost up the damage to it. That's one of the ways that this actually does a crazy amount of damage. We got it over here on the gloves if you wanted to put it in one of the other spots and shift stuff around. It's all up to you, but yeah, getting that one on here. I will mention you can unlock this one at Belfry Zakara in Hawazar. Sorry if they're not pronounced right, but don't forget you can go into the codex, looked up aspect of Ursine Horror, and click it and pin that exact dungeon on the map, and it'll take you exactly there. You can go through that dungeon one time in 5 to 10 minutes, and you'll have it on the Codex of Power forever. Now, over out here is another important one. Poison Creeper activate also casts landslides that pop up and deals increased damage to poison enemies. This is one that you actually get along season 1's little like journey by completing the little tasks. It was either number 1 or number 2 of the season journey. I can't remember which one, but we also use the one that's the other one from either 1 or 2. So just complete both of those. You'll get subterranean aspect, and you'll also get the shockwave aspect here. Pulverize creates a shockwave that travels out a huge AoE, dealing 60 to 100% damage in the target's path. This one is absolutely crucial and amazing for this particular build. And like I said, you can go ahead and get this one as well through the seasonal journeys, either the first or second of the ones that you get. Another one that you can go ahead and get from Champion's Demise here, actually, once again, you can pin it from the Codex of Power, is the Umbral aspect. So every time you pop out your Poison Creeper, they crowd control everything. And so you get one resource because it's going to be from the Codex. If you find a 4, that's going to be even better because you could almost cap out your resource in one cast, but you'll get a ton of resource back from having this particular one. In general, down here, you're going to want to go ahead and put in like emeralds if you can into your weapons and sapphires into your armor. It's not going to be huge crucial early on, just whatever you can do. And you notice right here, we're going to be putting malignant hearts in as soon as you kind of can. You could also slam skulls in the rings and amulets until you start getting that stuff, but putting in some hearts a little bit later on, probably around this time really, or probably in the 30s and 40s and stuff like that, is going to help you out a bunch. Now, as you scroll down, you can see what we're using for the actual skills. We're obviously, like I said, Poison Creeper, Trample, Blood Howl, and the Earthen Bulwark, and we've got Storm Strike and Pulverize. Once you get into the Spirit Boons and once you get all the Daedric offerings that you need to have, what we kind of recommend to go with here is right here, Wariness, and we actually have chosen the Eagle to have the 2 choices on. So critical strikes, gain 5% increased critical strike chance, and we've got Avian Wrath, 30% more critical strike damage. We're going to go ahead and use Pack Leader, so lucky hits, critical strikes have a 20% chance to reset cooldowns of your companion skills, which would be, we're going with that Poison Creeper we want to reset as much as possible so we can keep hitting it. And Obsidian Slam, every 20th kill causes your next Earth skill to be overpowered. So that's just going to have that Pulverize cause more damage because remember, Pulverize is now an Earth skill. So that's kind of a general overview. Obviously, the Paragon board you're not going to be into yet. That's stuff to talk about later. You don't have to do anything with the stats. So that's pretty much all you need to know. And don't forget, link in the description to come right to this exact one so you can go ahead and look over it anytime I want to. And feel free to go back and pause the video and listen to it over as much as you would like. So hopefully this video helped you out. And if it did, hit the like button and subscribe up for future Diablo videos. Peace out and keep slaying.